Joining Ed with me is our chief election and campaign correspondent, Robert Costa. Bob, good morning to you
Good morning.
Well, what were your takeaways last night?
For Senator Vance, this was an overture to working Americans in states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin. He is saying to them, we stand with you. These are the key voters in the election. President Biden has done so much to court them, going to union hall after union hall. Senator Vance last night said, we are going to compete for them as much as anybody.
You know, Ed, you don't want to counter-program in quite the way Democrats are against the Republican National Convention, but counter-programming it is. We hear Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi potentially making moves behind the scenes when it comes to Joe Biden in the race. What are you hearing?
There was a congressman who texted me yesterday and said, could we have one day without bad news this week? I mean, it's been that incredibly terrible for them, frankly. We do know that the two top congressional leaders, Hakeem Jeffries, Chuck Schumer, and Nancy Pelosi, now have all said to him, essentially, there's a potential you're going to lose. We're going to lose dozens of House races, handful of Senate races, and lose total control of Washington. That message has been conveyed. His team knows that. They understand it. They've seen the polling. But he's not going anywhere. There is no plan for him to leave. There is no plan for an alternative schedule at the Democratic National Convention. Wilmington, or his campaign headquarters, as we say, his team essentially says, this has been a bad stretch. We're going to come out of this. We're going to have our convention. You're going to see our stars. The president's going to be out there talking about different proposals. We mentioned, for example, the Supreme Court changes, proposals to cap rent across the country, things that speak to the voters the Democrats need to turn out in November. And if they can do that, they believe things will rebound.
Well, a bad stretch. There's not that much stretch left. And, Bob, let's get into that. We know on the schedule tonight is Donald Trump, his big speech. What do you expect from him? And then, more importantly, what does he need to do to win in November?
The big question, as my Democratic sources put it, and many of my Republican sources put it, is can he expand his coalition? He has everybody in this room in the palm of his hand. It has been a surge of emotion for many people here, and you've talked to so many of these delegates. After that assassination attempt, they stand with Trump more than ever. But what about those voters who are skeptical in the suburbs of Atlanta, Georgia, or Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, or Milwaukee, Wisconsin? Well, they have a reason on the economy, on immigration, to step forward and say, we might have concerns with Trump's legal challenges, his conduct, but this time we're going to give him a real shot, a hearing. Tonight's speech will say a lot. People are just starting to pay attention. Most people are on vacation, thinking about their own lives. They heard certainly about the assassination attempt. Will they listen tonight and hear a new message to give them a reason to vote for Trump?
Yeah, well, Donald Trump, finally, at last, after getting the nuclear codes, that didn't sober him up. Will this assassination attempt really change him and have him turn toward unity and togetherness? That's what we're hearing anyway. Bob, Ed, thank you both very much. Appreciate it.
Go.
Yeah.